Okay. Hello again. It's me. So my first video is going to be in reference to what's called organized gangstalking. That's not like the technical name. That's just what people have called it or whatever. But on this video, I'm going to have references, the sites that I got this information from. This isn't for entertainment or anything like that. This is actual, things that are going on in the world, like not just in the USA, but around the world. So I'll give you a definition. Organized stalking is a form of terrorism used against an individual in a malicious attempt to reduce the quality of a person's life so they will have a nervous breakdown, become incarcerated, institutionalized, experience constant mental, emotional, or physical pain, become homeless, and or commit suicide. This is done using well-orchestrated accusations, setups, framings, intimidation, overt or covert threats, vandalism, thefts, sabotage, torture, humiliation, emotional terror, and general harassment. It is a ganging up by members of the community who follow an organizer and participate in a systematic terrorizing of an individual. Organized gang stalking can involve a group in the hundreds to thousands harassing a single person or family 24/7. The victim is stalked en masse by car, foot, bike, and air in order to alienate and isolate the victim. The goals of gang stalking are to provoke the victim to assault someone and to get arrested, make the victim seem delusional, mentally ill, gaslighting, if you know what that is, make the victim so depressed they become suicidal. Tactics used are relentless, color harassment, noise harassment, air harassment, hand signals, electronic monitoring inside the home and car, complete invasion of privacy, redirecting phone calls, emails, postal mail, workplace mobbing, directed conversation and innuendo, erratic aggressive driving, bizarre rude bullying behavior in the community, and much more. Police and fire departments are often involved in the stalking, so the victim feels like they have nowhere to turn to, and it's hard to prove. This is extreme criminal activity that is becoming more common and needs to be outlawed. That is from, I think this was actually a petition on change.org. I just wrote down what they said in the site, and that's what they said. But this is definitely what's going on. I'm a victim of it. I know other people who are victims of it. I've talked with them. We've conversated and things, and the same thing. The is happening to me has happened to them. So I found something on Facebook by a woman named Francesca Valerio in Vernizzi. She wrote like a whole page. I just wrote down like a few paragraphs of what she said. Like I said, I'll put the links in the description box so that you can see these things for yourself. She says the main goal of gangstalking is to influence the life of the victim and to condition it in order to destroy it. Gangstalking makes use of subtle and hidden persecutory techniques based on obsessive repetition, events frequency, and above all, victim sensitization methods. Apparently, these are matters of little importance to people who are not accustomed with gangstalking. They just find it difficult to see these things. For them, there is every indication that the victim is crazy or has visions, hallucinations. They believe that the abuse the victim is reporting is all in his or her mind. The gap is the stretch of the persecutor because the gap is the strength of the persecutor because of the fact that it isolates the victim. This is the gap that needs to be bridged. And then she goes on to say all the things that happen, like in the previous that I stated. I was given this word. I had never heard of this word or this term, but one of the TIs, target individuals, which is what people who are victims of this crime are called. I saw them speaking on this, and this goes well with what gang stalking or organized stalking or covert stalking or contract stalking or whatever is. And the term is zur Setzung. Okay. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's German. I don't speak German, so. But it's spelled Zersetzung. And roughly translated, it means decomposition. I got this off of Wikipedia, but I'm sure it's on other sites, like the information about it and things. So I'll read what I wrote from that. It says, Zersetzung, German for decomposition, is a psychological warfare technique used by the Ministry for State Security, Stasi, to repress political opponents in East Germany during the 1970s and 1980s. Excuse me. Zersetzung served to combat alleged and actual dissidents through covert means using secret methods of abusive control and psychological manipulation to prevent anti-government activities. Zersetzung was informally used in East Germany since the 1950s, with General Secretary Walter Ulbricht, I'm not sure I'm saying that right, use of regular law enforcement and judiciary against dissidents. In 1971, Erich Honecker's appointment as General Secretary saw reform of operational procedures. Operative Vorgange, I have no idea how to say that. Vorganga, however you say it, I don't know. Away from the overt terror of Ulbricht towards Zersetzung, formalized in 1976 after the issue of Directive Number 176 on the development of provision of operational procedures. The Stasi used operational psychology in its extensive network of informal collaborators. I'm never going to try to say this, it's German. To launch personalized psychological attacks against targets to damage their mental health and lower chances of a hostile action against the state, which is retaliation, basically. The use of Rosette Zung is well documented due to Stasi files published after East Germany's Wind, or is it Wind or Wende? It's W-E-N-D-E, however you say that word in German, I don't know. With several thousands of up to 10,000 individuals estimated to have become victims, and 5,000 of whom sustained irreversible damage. Special pensions for restitution have been created for Rosette Zung victims. Speaking of reparations, I think since this is non-consensual, this program, so-called program, is non-consensual, I think there should be reparations for, the victims. But, I've heard of many stories of people suing and getting a lot of money for, the damage, as far as the things that you lose. So, but I'll go on. The term Zersetzung is generally translated into English as decomposition, although it can be variously translated as decay, corrosion, undermining, biodegradation, or dissolution. In context of a repressive measure, the term was first used by Nazi Germany as part of Wehrkraft Zersetzung or Zersetzung der Wehrkraft, a system of punishment against accused opposition to the government or military, which typically resulted in heavy sentences such as the death penalty. Okay, so basically, people who were rebels against the government, against the military, against the Third Reich in those days, were considered a threat. Much like in the U.S. today, if you're against, if you have certain views, you're seen as a threat to the government or to national security, even if you're really not. But anyways, as far as these things go, I can say that, and I'll probably make another video stating the things that I've been through. But I did find the reason behind why these people do what they do. The Jezebel spirit. If you know anything about the Bible, Jezebel, Queen Jezebel, the kind of woman that she was. I found this. It says, without question, the nastiest, most disgusting, cunning, and seductive spirit in Satan's hierarchy has to be what many call the Jezebel spirit. This evil spirit has been responsible for not only tearing down churches, pastors, and different Christian ministries, but it has also been responsible for breaking up many marriages, friendships, companies, along with getting many people to commit cold-blooded murders and suicides. So this goes along with what I was saying about gangstalking. These people, they say they carry the Jezebel spirit. Jezebel was a woman who was cunning, who was manipulative, who tried to get the children of God, well, those who followed God, to follow Baal also, which was, I think that was her god that she worshipped or whatever. Satanic worship, basically. But yeah, and they say that Jezebel's spirit is a demon or whatever, that is like one of the higher up in Satan's kingdom. So, anyways, I found some quotes or whatever. And things, so I'll read those. This is from Trent Shelton. It says, a hater's goal is to try to make people dislike you before they get to know you. They try to control the way other people feel about you. Let God handle them and you keep handling yours. No hater can stop God's favor. And that kind of goes along with no weapon formed against you shall prosper. I found one on Google. Well, I found all these on Google. This is from 2 Corinthians 11:14 and 15. It says, Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. His servants also disguise themselves as angels of righteousness. Meaning, like they say, Satan has always tried to make himself look good in the eyes of people, and he blinds people to the truth. And there are people who say that they are of God, but they're really not. And they say they're for righteousness, and they do things in the name of God and all these kind of things, and it's really a disguise. It's really a guise. Pious, if you know what that is. And I found this. It says, smile. The best way to defeat your enemy. The best way to defeat your enemy is to smile, to be happy, not to react in a negative light. Because that's what they want, They want you to be unhappy. They want you to be depressed. They want you to be, discouraged. Because they're miserable. They say misery loves company. So miserable people do miserable things so that other people can be miserable with them. So you do the opposite. Anyways, as I said, I'll probably make another video because this is getting kind of long. I didn't expect it to be this long. I expected it to be a little long because, I wanted to make sure that the information, is, that you can see it and that it can, that you can comprehend, that it's audible and things. So hopefully it is. And hopefully you look into information. There's so much information out there, and people just don't take the time to actually educate themselves on a lot of different things. I've done extensive research on this topic and found that it, all these things to be true. And speaking of the air, like I mentioned the air, where's that? Looking at my notes. Where is it? Anyway, here it is. Air harassment. So air harassment is basically the use of aircrafts. And I have many videos, well, not many videos, but I have a few videos where helicopters will fly, over the home. They'll fly over you. They'll hover over you as you're, going throughout. And I even got one today. There was a helicopter that was flying, and it kept circling over, and that's usually what they do. Like, they'll fly over and then they'll circle around or whatever. But, yeah, it's an intimidation method. Like I said, not much intimidates me, so it really doesn't work. But the best thing to do is to pray and seek God and, continue to be yourself. Never be bullied into silence. Never let them, because that's what they want. They want to silence you and try to intimidate you so that you don't speak out. That's one thing that I said I would do, is speak up and speak out against corruption, and that's what I'm here for. I believe that's what God has led me to do, and expose people and expose different corporations and things that are corrupt. So that's what I intend to do. And if you're one of those people, I respect you. Kudos to you. You are a true patriot. You are a true vigilante for speaking up, standing up, and speaking up for the truth. So, having said all that, I will end the video here. I'm not going to edit this or anything like that because I don't really care for editing. I just want it to be raw and, all that kind of stuff. So, anyways, back to my quote. As I always say, Be bold, be brave, be fabulously you, and above all, always be true to you. Smooches.